Hello, and welcome back to another Artist Diary update from me, Mary Charisma. I am a singer, songwriter, musician, a meditator, spiritual speaker, magic girl, just making my way through this life and reporting back to you as I am on my way to becoming a famous superstar, paid to exist, paid to be myself. So that's my life path and the journey that I'm on, and I feel locked into that. I feel so sure of that outcome that even though it's such a crazy moment for me, like I had kind of a path that I was going on towards this goal, and was working with somebody, and it was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I met them, and like everything's better now because like I don't know how to make my songs sound as good as they know how. And so it's like, wow, I can be the artist and I can make demos and I can write songs, and then I have someone help me finish them and everything, but they aren't in the picture anymore. I don't really want to go into the details because I feel like it's not my story, but the outcome is they don't want to work with me anymore. And it's like a total like blindside in a way, or just like, whoa, like what really? I like had this whole picture in my head of like success, and they were definitely in that picture with me, and like sharing in the success and this beautiful dream I have. And it's like, I mean, what's wild is that I'm coming up on about a year since my dad passed, and it has like exactly the same energy of like everything's different and it's out of my control. And yet I feel so like everything is going to be okay. That is the overwhelming feeling. And on top of that are like intense emotions. Like with my dad, it was like sadness and grief was like palpable, but it wasn't all consuming. It was like on top of my peace. Like I feel my connection to my highest self, I guess you could say, or like my wholeness. And from there, I'm like witnessing the feelings and the emotions. And so this is more like worry or anxiety, or like it's like someone calling you bad names and it makes you feel like, oh no, someone doesn't like me. And it feels, yeah, not good. But I don't feel, even though I don't know the path forward anymore, I feel very empowered. That's the word that comes to mind. Like, it's not time to just be like in despair and like, I don't know what to do. It's time to pick myself up and move forward. And I don't know how I do this, but I know that I have to make an album. I've been making these singles. I've been trying to navigate how does one be a professional music artist, and how do you hack the system, and and you'll just, there's so many different perspectives. And like one that I hear a lot is that don't worry about an album, like do singles so you can promote each and every single, and each one has a moment, and versus an album is just like one release. And so you put all of this effort in for just one moment. I think that totally makes sense and I totally understand, but this isn't coming from a place of logic now. It's coming from a place of like soul, destiny. It's time for me to make my album, and it's one cohesive sound, because I've been exploring everything and I've been trying lots of different styles of tracks with the whole single process, but I know the story that I want to tell, and I kind of have a rough idea of how I want it to sound. It's really scary not having, my producer with me anymore. I'm like, how am I going to make this thing? But I feel it like this is the time for me to stretch myself and see what I'm capable of, like actually see the power within that I didn't know I had. 444. It's kind of like I think it's Abe Lincoln said, it's like we see the test of a man's character in the hard times, right? Not when it's easy, but we rise to greatness. and I'm ready to rise, man. I feel like I've been waiting for things to happen, and I'm not waiting anymore. It's my life. It's my time to take action and do what I know I'm here to freaking do. Let's make this happen. Yeah. I don't know. I've heard anger is like kind of powerful in a way, where get angry, I don't like how things have been. I don't like that things have been taking so long and that it's been so slow. I'm like, let's change. Let's make changes. I've been frustrated with things being the same. Well, the only thing that I can change is myself. So let's do that. And an interesting thing I've been thinking about, despite all this craziness, is choosing happiness. That, you know, it's pretty normal to think that, well, I will be happy when this thing happens, or I can't be happy because these things are happening. And definitely, and I mean, I get consumed by emotion still. I'd like to say I was just but nope, sometimes I will be in a mood and I will be angry. This just happened a couple of days ago. I was like really crabby, and I feel so bad for my wonderful fiance, because, you know, when you're crabby and irritable, you take it out on the person next to you, and I feel bad for that, and I apologized. I did apologize as it passed. And but what I was able, so when I'm feeling strongly like that and I'm feeling like in it, it's not like it's beyond where I'm feeling my peace and I witness the motion, then I can kind of like breathe through and let it go. But when I'm just like truly all my thoughts are consumed by the energy, I take it as a time to figure out what the heck is going on. Like there's something that is blocking, and there's something so that's when I journal. That's when I ask myself, what am I feeling? What thoughts am I having? What are the beliefs that are tied to those thoughts? And that'll, if there's memories that are associated with it, this process has like helped me so much. And every time I do it, the result is some unblocking and some new energy I have. I'm like, whoa. And so in this particular case, it was me telling myself I don't know how to market my song. I've made all these video, social media content for Mercedes-Benz, and I just couldn't. I was like, I know that there's like a way to communicate the vibe, and it's not just about like getting, the psychological tricks or whatever, right? Like a virality. What I really want is to write, create content that I know resonates with the people that are on my wavelength. People like you, maybe. People who, I know that the personal journey that I'm on is, and the art that I make is about going for your dreams, making your dream life happen. And the main blocker is the doubt and the uncertainty and limitations that you're believing in yourself. And so overcoming that is my journey in this life, and that is what I'm sharing. And so I want, you can say a song is just a song, but it didn't come from nowhere. It came from a part of me, and I know that is the thread that my art is all tied by. Anyways, as I'm writing, I'm like, I don't know what to say. But then I was like, well, what if I do know? And then it was crazy, because then the words just came to me. I was like, oh, duh, so obvious, And so sometimes I think that anger and frustration is like, you have creative energy within you that just wants to flow and express, and it's getting stuck. You're not allowing that. You're saying that can't happen for whatever reason. And it's building up inside you, and you're like, I just want to, you need to. So yeah, that might be a message for you, to allow yourself to create. And what can happen is that you can approach your project, your outlet, with too much judgment, too much focus on the end result. That was definitely what I realized what was happening. I've kind of learned to find that place with songwriting and with my music, where I can sit down and I just play, and it's like, just let the words come out, because you can edit later, the classic create and editing should be different sessions. So I realize when I'm making these TikToks, all I'm thinking about, like, is this gonna resonate with people? Is this, you know, like, I'm imagining whether thinking about it going viral or not, right? It's like when you're creating, I don't think it's the time. I mean, definitely love the, like, you know, making a little intention when you post. Like, my intention is for this to find all of the people that it's meant to, for it to have viral energy. Like, you can definitely do that. But what I'm saying, when you're creating, if you're like thinking about that end result of, I want it to do this, you're not there. You're not truly focused and present with the flow, right? You're not, honestly, when you're doing anything, the conscious mind is just there to keep your focus on it, right? You're there, you're truly there. You're not just there and thinking about other things. It's like, use your conscious mind to be like, oh, I was daydreaming, back to the task at hand, and singularly focus on the task that you're doing. And then with that focus, you feel space for the ideas to come through. So it's, yeah, I've been talking about it, this book I'm listening to, Psycho-Cybernetics, and it's been really, really interesting because it's a lot about how the brain works and the dance between the conscious and the subconscious. And so like an effective way to go about living life, essentially. And I love it because it's a lot of like spiritual concepts. It's a lot of like essentially manifestation. But I like the language. It's all rooted in scientific studies and observable phenomenon. And it's kind of like, this is how we're meant to operate as humans, you know? And it's very common to mess it up, and you can just see how you're screwing up your success system, your system where you set a goal, you believe in yourself and the universe to make it happen, and then you visualize it, right? You're like, you can see the result. You're like, that is what success is like. And then you put in the conscious effort you need to, but then you also allow the space for, the universe to cook, for your subconscious to work, for the ideas to come to you, right? You can say, hey, in this meditation, I specifically want an answer to this question, right? That's your conscious mind saying that, right? Setting the intention. And then you go and you take a nap or you meditate, and then your subconscious does its thing and you get the answers. It's so beautiful and it's, I guess, simple. I'm like, oh yeah. And so the other thing is that when you're on this journey, you're like, the end goal is inevitable. I've set the goal. It's happening. We are now in journey mode. I love this phrase that they said, because when I'm making the TikTok, right, if I'm thinking the end result, right, is like, oh, it's gone viral. It's amazing. I feel excitement around that. But then when I'm creating it, that's the journey to that point, right? And so there's things that don't seem like it's happening. You might post and it doesn't do well, right? So that is not the time to say evidence that the end thing is not happening, but you have to understand you're in journey mode, which has twists and it has turns and it has things that are not going to make sense, and you don't see how it's going to all play out for you. But understand you're in the journey. And in journey mode, the best thing you can do is be happy. Be happy and be relaxed. And you might be withholding that happiness from yourself for whatever reason, I don't have the thing yet though. How can I be happy? And that is a practice. Like, in the way that when you meditate, you come back to your mantra. When you're just living your life, come back to happiness, right? What are your thoughts? Like, realizing that thoughts are kind of like habits. Like, I tend to think this, I tend to feel this way, I tend to go there energetically. And I was like seeing that with myself today. I was kind of going back to I can't be happy because I haven't, done enough with my life yet. I'm behind. That's my classic. That is my go-to reason for not being happy. And then I was like, really thought about it. Hey, what? Well, how about instead I just be happy? It's like, I see you, I see these thoughts. I'm just gonna go back to feeling happy. Like, meditation is helpful for this reason, because it calms the mind enough for you to feel it, to understand what happiness is. I know that's so ridiculous, but, and I mean, you have memories. That's the other thing, is that if you're like, well, how do I just feel happy right now? It's like, use memories associated with success, with like, hell yeah, I did the thing that I wanted to do. Or maybe when you're on vacation, I have this very specific vacation memory where it was like in Mexico at the beach with my friends, and it was so beautiful, and the tequila drinks were so good. And it was just perfect, you know, and you go there in your mind, and I hear the ocean and the warmth of the sun on my skin and the sand in my toes, and like, I feel happy, I feel relaxed. That, you know, why not? Why not tap into that? Because when you're relaxed and you're feeling good, you're so much more useful, you're so much more present and able to respond effectively to what's going on. So you are able to take the steps that you need to then bring about whatever it is that you've set your goal towards. You can just happily make that happen. Yeah, so that's my update, and I guess my advice. This was great. This was really helpful for me. Thank you. Thank you for listening. And if you stayed to the end, please comment if anything resonated with you. And if you're ready to be happy, go ahead and drop a sparkle emoji. If you're ready to choose happiness unconditionally, just make it your new habit, make it your new mantra. Choose it, live it. You know, our dreams are unfolding, so why not freaking enjoy the journey there, you know? So yeah, if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to follow me along in my journey towards all of my dreams, you should subscribe. Yay! And you can check out my music at my website, which is linked below. So I hope you guys are all having a great day and weathering whatever storms are, you know, you're in the middle of, all that's going on. You absolutely have the strength to get through this and understand it's happening actually for your own benefit and for the good of your journey. You're becoming stronger, you're becoming wiser, and things that weren't meant to be are falling apart so that what is absolutely meant to be can find you. So good things are coming. Just go back to your happy place. Go back to your happy place. Okay. I love you guys. Goodbye.